Wow, hello friends. It has been a couple of weeks, honestly, since I've picked up the camera, and it's like the throes of summer, everything is crazy. And if you are also like me and you are a multi-passionate creative with a ton of hands in all the different pots, and you just feel like there are so many balls in the air right now and something's got to give, I'm with you because I have just gotten to this point where I've been trying to do too many things and I enjoy too many things to let anything go. But I think it's finally time for me to really put something to bed that I've been meaning to for a really long time. And I just haven't. And it's been so hard to let go of. But I think it's finally time. And this last couple of weeks have honestly been super eye opening for me. It's part of why I took a break from filming and even vlogging because I just needed a little bit of extra space to figure out what I wanted and honestly just figuring out the path forward and what was going to be right for me and the business. Um, so yeah. So I am actually currently in Salida, Colorado. We've been camping out on our friend's property for the last couple of days. I just wanted to have a chat. So I haven't been filming in a while because I've been honestly really overwhelmed. If you didn't know, I also have a small private chef business that I run in the summer months. And lately I've only been doing June, July, and August and just a couple of gigs a month. But for the first time, I actually feel like it is now preventing me from doing the things that I want to do in SMEME. And if you didn't know, my background is as a chef. I spent 10 years working in restaurants. It's what I went to school for. It's been my career. And the private chef business was something that allowed me to keep doing what I love, but on my own terms. But it's finally gotten to this point where it has gotten in the way of what I want to do in SMEME. And I'm feeling overwhelmed with some of the things that I've been wanting to do because I've been splitting my focus. And if you're like me and multi-passionate and just enjoy a bunch of different things, it's so hard to figure out what actually is the right move, especially if it's something that is part of your business, part of your identity, and something that generates a significant amount of income. But I think the potential for what I want to do with SMEME, I can't accomplish unless I put 100% of my energy towards it. And yes, SMEME has been my full-time business for the last 5 years, but I still have held on to having my private chef business, Wilder Bean Provisions, as a side hustle. And I just feel like it's actually time to let it go. And so it's been weird. I've been struggling with this a lot. I've been talking with all kinds of small business friends. I even actually had a coaching call with a business coach just to see what they thought about my move to stop doing Wilder Bean. And I think everyone was like, I think that that is something that you need to stop. It doesn't mean it's forever, and I think that's something we always get into our heads about as well as small business owners, that if we end a branch of the business or if we move on to something else, it means we failed somehow or that that's the final thing. But the reality is you actually can go back to it if you wanted to, but if you don't ever give your chance to take the break or take the pause or reevaluate or realign, then you will never know what that other path would have looked like. And I think that's where I'm at. I'm finally at that point where I'm like, I need to just have a hard stop, take the break. And so in 2025, I'm going to commit to 1 full year where I do 0 cooking gigs and do 100% of everything into SMEME. So if your life is anything like mine, summer can just be so busy. There are so many events and social gatherings, people visiting, activities, and all of that. And ultimately, it's like I started this business to have the free time to do all of that stuff and to not feel like I wasn't able to participate in all of these activities. But in the last couple of weeks, I have had chef gigs, and that has really changed the map for me. Like, I've barely had time to sit at my desk. I feel like some things are just falling through the cracks with SMEME, and I don't know, I'm not proud of that. And I think there's a little bit of imposter syndrome in me where, I have considered SMEME my full-time business for the last few years, but I do have this side hustle that actually generates a pretty decent amount of revenue for me. And, I still have a passion for it, and it's definitely part of my identity, but I think it's just time for me to let part of it go. And I don't know, I've been wrestling with it quite a bit, but I feel like I have really good clarity now, a lot of confidence in this decision, and sometimes you just have to put that boundary for yourself in order to stick with it and to make sure that you actually allow yourself that space and freedom to pursue something that you've been wanting to do. And there are so many new things happening in Smini. If you've been watching my videos, I'm hosting my first women's creative group trip to Iceland, where we're gonna do small business workshops and just explore together. And I also started a new Discord community called the Adventures Creative Club, where we will connect, and I want to host more co-working sessions and workshops and things like that, provide more small business resources, and just ultimately have more presence to connect with all of the members of the group. It is a free group, but I just want to make sure that I'm putting the time and effort into growing it into an organically just vibrant community, and that it actually has a lot of value for the people that are in it. In the last few years, I've actually been able to take summers off of Smini and, casually work on inventory and make sure I have stock. But now with all of these new things, I feel like I need my summers more than ever to just make sure I have all of the things in place for the busy season. And I feel like I had a pretty good spring with planning. If you watch my vlogs of those times, I felt really good and accomplished, like I did all of those tasks. But I'm kind of slowly realizing that if I want to get to the next level of Smini and the vision that I have for it and building my dream business essentially, I need to put year-round effort into it. So it's a little bit scary to cut off completely my side hustle income. And like I said before, the identity aspect of it, but I think it's necessary. And I don't know if you've been going through this too. I know a lot of people, you might have a 9-to-5 job that you love, but also want to start your business, or maybe you've had a business that you've been running for a really long time, but you've been trying to pivot into something new, and mid-pivots can be really hard. Like, I have noticed a significant drop in my engagement. I have noticed just a little bit of the feeling of burnout because I haven't given myself space to remove myself from how I was running the business before, and I really want to just break everything down and rebuild it in a way that that I'm envisioning now. And when I did the rebrand last year, it felt like that was what I was doing, but I had actually never given myself the chance to totally pause, break everything down, and start over again. So I think in 2025, by not doing any of my chef work, I will have 100% of my energy towards creating that vision, and I just need to take that leap. It's so easy to stay in that place of comfort, especially as a small business owner, because it's how you've been doing things, it's the way you've been doing things, and they've been working. But then you feel like you're kind of on this hamster wheel and like you're not breaking through to that next level. And maybe things have been working, maybe things have been great, and you've gotten yourself to this point doing things a certain way. But to get to that next level, to get to that dream business that you've been hoping for, you really need to change things up. And I think that's where I am. I've been running this business full time for 5 years. I've been self-employed this whole time. And I have invested in some education, but I haven't actually given myself the chance to zoom out like completely or to totally pause. And I'm very grateful. I live a very balanced life. I feel like I go on a lot of trips. I do a lot of outdoor activities. I make time to hang out with my friends. But the way I've run the business has not changed that much over the last few years. I just actually keep adding things to my plate instead of changing things, and I feel like it's finally time to make those changes.